Vincenzo, back for another episode of The Clinical Dose. We have another 5 questions in front of us and a unique spread of questions for this episode. So we're going to be answering some and talking about a few different topics that we haven't spoken about before in this series. Let's begin. Question 1.
Let's do it. So question 1, do you find any differences in your training since you switched from late night to early morning sessions? More or less energy, better or worse pumps? From STUPPSUK.
Now you, just to give a little bit of background, you trained at night, you went to training in the morning for a little bit, and now you've gone back to training at night.
Yeah.
So you have some good personal experience. Myself, I was a late night trainer for many, many years, and recently, as in like the last 6 months, have gone to training first thing in the morning. So let's start with you. What did you find, because you switched and then went back?
Yeah.
So what did you find, Stu here has asked specifically about your energy levels, pumps, so on and so forth.
Yeah. So I found in the transitional period where I first started training in the morning, quite hard to get up. You really have to force yourself to get up.
Yeah.
Me personally, when I was training in the morning, I did train fasted, but I did have a carb meal before I went to bed.
Okay.
And then I had intra-workout carbs as well. So in terms of pumps and stuff like that, didn't notice a difference at all. Energy, really just through that transitional period, once you get used to the morning training, getting up, I actually find I have probably more energy in that morning once I've started. I feel probably better throughout the day, but I am tired later at night. Obviously, being up earlier, going to be tired quicker. Other than that, didn't really notice any differences in kind of my training performance once I was set into that routine. For me now, while I've gone back to nights, it just works better for me. I'm someone, I would prefer to get up in the morning at 6 o'clock and do cardio if I have to, if I'm doing it. And then I'd prefer to train weights at nighttime. It just suits my lifestyle better.
Yeah, absolutely. The reason why I made the change to training in the mornings pretty much answers this question, is I found that I was getting into the cycle of, usually I train straight after work. So I'd be at MJHQ, and like you see, most nights I'm here till after 7 p.m. And, we're in the middle of a lockdown. So when, it's kind of business as usual, there'd be nights where I'd be here working till 7:30, 8:30. Sometimes I wouldn't leave the office until 8:45, 9 p.m. So I'd be training quite late at night. And because I'd worked such a long day, my energy levels were shit. So I'd have to take a really strong stimulant-based pre-workout to get a decent workout because my energy was so low. Then I couldn't get to sleep because I'm taking that really strong pre-workout to get a good workout in at, 9:30 at night. So then I can't sleep. Then, I got to be up at 6 in the morning to do my cardio in the morning. And then I'm tired because I haven't. So it was just a very vicious cycle of, artificially manipulating my energy levels. And so that's why I flipped it. I was like, well, if I can train first thing in the morning, I know I'm not going to get stuck at the office. I get up, I get my pre-workout meal in, I get to the gym. At the moment, it's the home gym because of the lockdown. I get my workout in, and I know that I'm not going to have any distractions. I can commit to that, and I'm not going to have this vicious cycle. So what I've really found is my ability to have more control over my energy levels and not have to manipulate it with stimulants is far better. Most of the time, those of you who follow me on Instagram, most mornings I train on non-stim pre-workouts. So I have a coffee with my pre-workout meal, which is caffeine, natural caffeine, and then I'm not using stimulant pre-workouts for most of my workouts. So I think my control over my energy levels is far better, and my natural energy levels are far better training first thing in the morning. So far as, the pumps, the performance, so on and so forth, definitely there was a transitional period. My body was so used to doing cardio in the morning, training at night, that, the body's just not used to getting your heart rate up and performing physically at a high level first thing in the morning when you first make that change. So when I first did it, and it probably took 2 or 3 months for me to actually get to a point where the pumps were the same, the performance was the same, the workouts were the same sort of quality workouts, that was really tough. But now it's pretty much identical. My pumps are the same, if not better. My performance is the same, if not better. I'm fueling my body appropriately. And that's really what's going to drive your pumps and your performance. If I was training fasted like you were, there's no way it would be the same. My performance would be suffering, my pumps would be suffering, absolutely. But being able to get that nutrient timing down point, fueling my body correctly, having more control over my natural energy levels, it'd be very difficult for me to go back to training at night at this point in time. Next question.
So next question is, how important is gut health? And what would you do or take to improve gut health? And this came from Instagram from Ashley Nelson. So in my opinion, gut health is very important. And I think you can see that in terms of, especially the supplementation that's starting to come out and target that now.
Yeah.
And from some of the stuff in research, there's a lot of studies linking gut health to different diseases, brain function, stress levels, everything pretty much can be linked in some form to gut health.
Yeah.
So yeah, kind of very important and a really growing kind of aspect in terms of diet and training and stuff like that.
Yeah.
In terms of improving your gut health, high fiber diets are going to be really good, especially plant-based vegetables, stuff like that. Pre and probiotic foods, fermented foods, definitely going to help that. Sleep and hydration also will have an impact on your gut microbiome as well. So kind of eating a really good diet is going to be probably the biggest part to improving your gut health.
Yeah, and I think, how important is gut health? Well, everything that we consume from a nutrient perspective from food and drink that enters into our bodies and into our bloodstream and gets used as whatever the macronutrient is, whatever it gets used for, has to pass through our gut. So if your gut is not functioning efficiently, that's the first bottleneck of your energy levels, your ability to recover, your ability to get essential fatty acids into your body for organ health and joints. Everything has to pass through the gut. So how important is gut health? It's everything. That's how you get shit into, unless you're on an IV drip, shit's going through your gut to get into your bloodstream.
Absorbing all those nutrients and stuff, it's all going through your gut.
Hugely important. I think that, it's definitely a developing area. The truth of the matter is we don't really know a whole lot about gut microbiome. Yeah. We don't really know a whole lot about gut health. At the moment, it's most of it's theory, really. There's not, a lot of very hardcore study on, you've got this gut health problem, this is what you do to treat it, or this is what you do to fix it, or this is what you do to avoid particular gut health issues. There's the basic things, like you mentioned, the quality of your diet, being sufficiently hydrated, getting enough sleep. So far as it goes with what do you do to take to improve gut health, to make your gut health better, I think that, one of the best things that you can do anecdotally is monitor your diet. If you're consuming certain foods or certain types of foods or certain ingredients that you actually feel digestive upset from, don't continue to consume them. It's your body trying to say, listen, I'm having trouble with gluten, or I'm having trouble with digesting lactose, or I really struggle with when you're giving me artificial digestive enzymes or plant-based enzymes. I struggle with that. So you can do things to just really keep tabs on what your body's telling you when you consume certain foods. And if your body's not reacting the way that it's supposed to react and something kind of feels out of whack, probably don't consume those foods. Next question.
So, opinion on test boosters, and should you get your levels checked before using them? From Sean Freestone, also from Instagram.
Yeah, this is a great question, Sean, and this is a question that we get from not just guys but girls as well. Whether it's about test boosters or estrogen blockers or just hormone support supplements in general. To get straight to the point, and to answer the second part of your question, should you get your levels checked before using them? Absolutely, because that's how you figure out whether or not a natural hormone supplement of whatever kind is going to benefit you. If your natural hormone production is all, where it needs to be, it's within range, everything's, doing what it's supposed to do, the fact of the matter is natural hormone supplements are probably not going to do a whole lot to make that better. If you have clinically low testosterone or clinically high estrogen or clinically high cortisol or clinically outside of range of any hormones that you're trying to manipulate naturally to put your body in the best hormonal environment to build muscle, burn fat, and improve body composition, that's where your natural test boosters, your natural cortisol control, your natural estrogen blockers are going to help. You have to have the data. You have to. If you don't have the data, you're literally like throwing darts at a dartboard with a blindfold on. You don't even know what a fucking dartboard is. What's your opinion on it?
I agree with pretty much everything you just said. There's not really much more to add really to that. I agree. Definitely get your bloods tested on a regular basis as well. So you know whether you're low, whether even if your test booster is working, whether you should be trying some other test booster, different ingredients, stuff like that. Definitely getting them tested is going to be the benefit.
I think, I want to go back to the start of Sean's question. He said opinions on test boosters. One of the big questions that I always get personally is, do test boosters work? That's kind of like, it's like, do they actually work? Do they actually do what they're supposed to do? The answer to the question is, yes, they do, but you have to frame what working for a natural testosterone booster means. If you're comparing, does a natural testosterone booster work like an anabolic steroid works? No. They're completely two different mechanisms of action, and they're going to have two completely different outcomes. So work, the way that a natural test booster works compared to an anabolic steroid or exogenous testosterone, you're not comparing apples with apples. You're comparing work over here with work over here. It just doesn't make any sense. What natural testosterone boosters are going to do through the natural ingredients that they're using, as they're going to encourage your body to naturally produce more testosterone. The way that exogenous testosterone works is it signals to your body to shut down natural testosterone production because you're going to be injecting it directly. That's why it's called exogenous testosterone. So when you frame, do natural testosterone boosters work, you need to be saying, is a natural testosterone booster going to help increase my natural testosterone production? The answer to that question is yes. The answer to the question, how effectively do they work, depends on how fucked your natural testosterone production is. If your natural testosterone production is really bad and you have the bloods and you have clinically low natural testosterone production, the chances are a natural test booster is going to be very effective, because you're already somebody who's going to benefit from anything that's going to help your body ramp up that natural testosterone production. If you get your bloods done and you have naturally high testosterone production, taking a natural test booster is probably not going to do a whole lot for you, because there's only so much you can get out of your body's natural production mechanisms. There's only so much you can get out of your natural endocrine system. It's not going to produce, anabolic steroid amounts of testosterone. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
So my opinion on test boosters are they are extremely beneficial for people who have low natural testosterone production, and they very much work. How well they work depends on how bad your natural testosterone production is. Next question.
Thoughts on multiple streams of income rather than focusing only on one job? From Theorespetito, I can't pronounce it.
Come on, mate, you're Italian. You should be able to pronounce that.
I can't do it.
Salva Theorespetito. Yeah, I'm having trouble with it too. Anyway, was that Instagram?
Instagram, yeah.
Sorry, Sal. That's our bad.
Yeah.
We should have researched your name beforehand. What are your thoughts?
I'm a big fan. I mean, I don't have it at the moment. It's something I want to work towards.
Yeah.
So I think multiple streams of income are really good, and making investments in terms of different investments, whether that's property, other businesses, stuff like that, markets.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea. But I think depending on your job as well, if those investments are going to come at a detrimental effect to the one job that you really like, I think it's a bad idea.
I think what you should do is focus only on one job and leverage that one job to develop multiple streams of income. I think that, Sal, you've kind of got your wires mixed here, where you're saying that in order to build multiple streams of income, you have to focus on multiple jobs. You can do both at the same time. You can build multiple streams of income, but focus on being the best, whatever the fuck it is that you're trying to be with that one particular job. The analogy I like to use is, let's say, for example, you're trying to catch a chicken. Right. Yep. So you're on a I don't know where chickens live, paddock or farm or fucking pen. You're in a chicken pen and you're trying to catch a chicken. You can either focus all of your efforts on catching one chicken, in which case you're probably going to catch that chicken. Chickens are not very smart. They're fucking agile though.
Pretty quick.
But you're probably going to catch that one chicken, or you can try and catch 3 chickens all at once, in which case you're going to have no chance of catching any of them. I like to focus all of my energy, all of my effort on carving out a career and an expertise, and not being a jack of all trades, master of none, being a master of a particular trade. And once you've mastered that particular trade, you're going to be generating a sufficient amount of income because you're going to develop a very valuable skill set and you're going to be appropriately remunerated for that skill set. And then you can use that money to go and build other streams of income. So you might decide to invest in the stock market. You might decide to invest in residential or commercial property. You might decide to be a silent investor in someone else's business. You know, once you have built a skill set and carved yourself out a career and made yourself very valuable, you can take that income that you've built in that career, in that space, by focusing on that one job and start to disperse it to create other streams of income. I think that's the best way to do it. I think the mistake that a lot of people make is they focus on the one job, they live above their means, they have no money to invest in any other stream of income, and then they're stuck in golden handcuffs for the rest of their lives. That's a big mistake.
Yeah.
And the other big mistake is being a jack of all trades, master of none. And I see a lot of that in the entrepreneurial space, you know, guys that they don't want to put all of their eggs in one basket of one business because, to be quite honest, they're afraid that it's going to fail. Mm-hmm. So they go and put an egg here, they put an egg here, they have 7 businesses here, 13 businesses here, 45 businesses here, and they actually achieve fucking nothing because they're trying to catch 3 chickens at once. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, I agree.
That's what I see. Last question.
Intermittent fasting versus having breakfast. Pros and cons from Wes Morgan on Instagram as well.
Yeah, okay. So I have some personal experience with this. I did intermittent fasting, I'm going to say it was the start of 2016. I think it was the start of 2016. Might have been the start of 2017. It was a few years ago now, but I did it for a good 6 months. So I have some personal experience with this. Have you done intermittent fasting?
I haven't done it and kind of don't plan to.
Yeah.
I like my food.
Well, what's your opinion of that? Like, why would you not consider it?
In terms of my goal in muscle growth and
Yeah.
I'm trying to gain at the moment,
Yeah.
don't see it being beneficial.
Yeah.
I know there is some things about improving insulin sensitivity and stuff like that, which could potentially be beneficial to that goal.
But you can do that other ways.
It's going to be very hard to get the calories I need
Yeah.
during a 6-hour or 8-hour eating window.
Yeah.
Which I'm struggling now with 24 hours. Mm-hmm. So I personally wouldn't try that. Mm-hmm. And I'm a big fan of getting up and eating something, having breakfast to get my day started.
100%.
Yeah, so that's pretty much my reason why.
You know, when it comes to the pros and cons here, Wes, there's a couple of ways that we can answer this. Is we can look at the pros of intermittent fasting that are not exclusive to intermittent fasting.
Yeah.
That are benefits of IF, but you can achieve them other ways, such as improving insulin sensitivity is a good one. You can improve insulin sensitivity by not eating high GI carbs every fucking meal, regardless of if you're doing IF or not. So, let's not talk about those because there's a lot of, I just want to talk about the exclusive benefits of IF versus the cons of IF.
Okay.
So I think the exclusive benefits of intermittent fasting is that you're able to consume whatever calories you are consuming in a smaller period of time.
Yeah, 100%.
So intermittent fasting is a great way to achieve caloric restriction and put yourself in a caloric deficit if you're trying to, lose body fat for people who have big appetites. Because those people really struggle if they've got, let's say, 2,000 calories and they're consuming 2,000 calories over an 18-hour feeding period compared to consuming the same 2,000 calories over an 8-hour feeding period. So I think, exclusively, one of the biggest pros of IF is the ability to really start to control hunger and control appetite. I think that's probably one of the huge benefits of it. And probably, and this is just off the top of my head, and we have done a bunch of content on IF as well. You can go Google intermittent fasting, MassiveJoes, the videos and the articles will come up. I think, and this is for me personally as well, from my personal experience, thinking back to, 3-4 years ago, the biggest con that I found with IF was my mental capacity was shot to shit.
Okay. Yeah.
But it was a little bit of like almost like a bell-shaped curve. I'd feel really good, maintaining the low blood sugar because I'm not having a meal for, let's say I get up at 6 a.m. till probably 9 or 10 a.m. in the morning. And then I'd start to go, all right, the brain's not really working. I'm going to reach for another cup of coffee, or I'm going to reach for an energy drink or whatever it may be, because I really started to struggle then with, things like brain fog and just not being able to concentrate. And that was really why I went away from it. I actually, I quite enjoyed intermittent fasting. I found that it kind of, when I did it, it suited now it would be completely different because I train first thing in the morning. But when I did it, it kind of suited my lifestyle quite well.
Yeah.
But I went away from it because I'm like, man, I can't afford to have 2 or 3 hours in, a day where my brain's not fucking working because I'm purposely, consciously restricting nutrients because I'm doing IF.
Yeah.
That was kind of the con for me. But I think, intermittent fasting is one of those things, like we preach with everything, you got to find the dieting method that fits your lifestyle. For some people, IF fits their lifestyle and is a great way of dieting. It just suits their, some people don't wake up like you and I hungry in the morning.
Yeah.
So, for them, eating breakfast is a pain in the ass.
I think the other thing that kind of turned me away from it was I like to kind of have a bit more freedom in terms of getting up and going out for a breakfast with people.
Yeah.
Because food is more of kind of a catch up with friends
Social.
rather than a social. Yeah, it's a social thing. So having that flexibility to go and get a meal with some friends after a training session or something like that, it's very appealing to me. And you can't really do that with intermittent fasting.
Yeah, well, it becomes restrictive.
Yeah, restrictive,
and that's what I'm saying is, for most people, I recommend giving it a try, seeing if it fits your lifestyle. For a small percentage of people, it will, and for the majority percentage of people, it probably won't because it's abrasive to social norms. But yeah, give it a shot, and if it's something that you're interested in trying, there's no harm in trying it. I did 100%. I did it for fucking 6 months, and developed my own opinions on it, and I probably won't go back. But that's just me.
Yeah,
Vince. That's a wrap for this episode of The Clinical Dose. Guys, thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Subscribe to the MassiveJoes YouTube channel. Turn your post notifications on your mobile, your cell phone, and your desktop PC so you don't miss a beat when it comes to all the latest editions of Clinical Dose and everything else happening on the MassiveJoes YouTube channel. Until next week, where we're coming to and from, Vince.
MassiveJoes.com.
Stay massive. Thank you for tuning in to this video. We hope you enjoyed watching. Don't forget to check out our latest upload and our recommended video, and be sure to subscribe to the MassiveJoes YouTube channel to stay up to date with all of our latest uploads.